The wind drifted softly through the open window of the old Winslow estate, carrying with it the scent of damp soil and rain-soaked roses. Clara Winslow sat by her desk, tracing her finger along the rim of her teacup, her gaze fixed on the gray horizon beyond the iron gates. Tomorrow she would turn 18, an age that promised freedom to most but filled her with quiet dread. Ever since her father's sudden death 2 years ago, the mansion that once echoed with laughter had become a cage gilded in marble and silence. Her stepmother, Evelyn Winslow, ruled over it with a grace so polished it hid the cruelty beneath. In public, Evelyn was charming and composed, speaking of Clara with false affection, but behind closed doors her voice was ice, her commands sharp and absolute. Clara had learned long ago that questioning her stepmother only brought punishment, not in blows or bruises, but in smaller, colder ways: the meals she wasn't allowed to eat, the letters she wasn't permitted to send, the books taken from her shelves under the pretense of improper influence. Still, Clara clung to kindness as if it were her only weapon. She greeted the servants politely even when they looked away, too afraid to meet her eyes, and she tended to the garden her father had loved, whispering to the lilies as if he could somehow hear her from wherever he rested. Twice a week she was allowed to attend the local academy, escorted by Evelyn's driver who waited outside the gate like a shadow. Those were the only hours she felt like herself again, surrounded by books and warmth and the steady voice of her favorite teacher, Mr. Harris. He was the kind of man who saw things others ignored: the tremor in her voice when she spoke, the haunted way she glanced at the clock as if time itself were her enemy. He never pressed her with questions, but his concern was always there, quiet and unwavering, like a lantern in fog. On a chilly Wednesday afternoon, as she gathered her notebooks, she found a folded piece of paper tucked between the pages of her English text. Her breath caught as she read the short message written in hurried ink: "Your father's will was forged. Don't sign anything on your birthday." Her hands shook. No one but Evelyn and the family lawyer had ever mentioned the will. The warning filled her with a terror she could not name. She looked around the classroom, but everyone was already leaving, and Mr. Harris only gave her a soft nod before turning away. She hid the note beneath her sleeve, her mind spinning. That evening at dinner, she tried to study Evelyn's face, searching for any hint of deceit beneath her perfect smile. Evelyn noticed the stare and asked sweetly, "Something troubling you, dear?" Clara shook her head quickly, her throat dry. "No, stepmother, I was only thinking." Evelyn's smile widened slightly. "Good girls think before they speak. Remember that." After dinner, Clara retreated to her room, but the walls seemed to close in tighter than ever. She op. The candlelight flickered wildly as Evelyn's shadow stretched across the floor, swallowing Clara in its reach.